It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sam Lesante Show. You know what I try to do, my friends, is to try to bring you as much information as we possibly can. There are many people and agencies throughout the area that do a lot of good. You know, you've seen them on my show. One of the agency, or one of the agency that does a lot in the greater Hazleton area. In fact, the Hazleton Area School District in Weatherly is United Way. And the goal this year is $350,000. So where does that money go? How does it help people? Well, Gary Perna, who is the CEO and president of United Way, no stranger to the airways, is here today to talk about some changes that have been made in United Way. Gary, how are you?
Good, Sam. Thanks for having me.
How's everything at United Way?
We are going. We are working every day to reach our goal for our 2025 campaign, and we're working hard with all of our partner agencies and our phenomenal board of directors that we have to make sure that we're here for the community and we're able to help those who need it the most.
You know, if we had to go back throughout the years, and you've been on for this is your third campaign. If you go back and, you know, for people who have never needed any of the agencies or the projects we'll talk about, probably just sit back and listen and, you know, but those people who have been affected by those agencies, they can't do enough because they know what these agencies do in these projects. And I think, you know, you've seen that, you know, because you've been really involved in the field. You just don't sit in your office.
Yeah, I don't think there are days that I could sit in my office. We have so many great agencies that we work with, and community volunteers, and we thrive on the volunteers who come in and work, help out. You know, when we talk about some of our agencies, and we share office space with Catholic Social Services here in Hazleton, and to see the work that the Divine Providence Homeless Shelter does and the St. Joseph Food Pantry, and some of the great work that's being done at some of our other agencies as well, it floors me. Every time I go to one of the places or we have a conversation, we have a director's meeting, what they're working on and what they're doing and how they're helping folks in this community. And the folks who they have once helped are now volunteering and giving back because they're grateful for the help they receive in that critical moment in their life. You know, there are days when it's a very stressful job. Those days make it worth it.
You know, it's interesting because I was talking to, just yesterday, I've been lunch with my friend, and he was talking about people who have been blessed in their lives, okay? And basically, you know, we've been blessed with, you know, a family and resources at least to live comfortably. And, you know, he said, Sam, he said, sometimes, you know, when you're blessed, you want to help people, but you don't know where to help people, all right? He said, I want to make sure that I'm giving it to somebody who is going to use it and not be all administrative costs, you know. He said, so you hear these things and, you know, give to this. He said, if I give $100, how much of that 100 goes to this? He said, I don't know. And I said, well, I got Gary Perna coming on the show. I said, and he's going to be talking about many of the agencies that, you know, if you want to take that $100 and put it to good use, give it to United Way. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. You know, 99 cents of every dollar that we raise stays right here in the greater Hazleton community for our projects, for our agencies that we do. You know, that 1 cent, that helps us stay a United Way. We have to pay into the United Way worldwide, you know, so we could use the logo and we have resources available to that. But when you think about that, 99 cents of every dollar is being split into our agencies like Helping Hands, Boy Scouts of America, Catholic Social Services, and the Commission on Economic Opportunity, and the work that they're doing, okay, in our community. So I mentioned the food pantry at Catholic Social Services. Outside my office window, I could see the parking lot. And on days when the distribution is going on, it is unbelievable the amount of folks who need some assistance right now. And we know inflation has not been our friend lately. We've seen the rise in prices right now. And more people, working people who are working jobs, 12-hour jobs, or who have kids and mom and dad are working, who need that little extra help. We're seeing them, and it's everybody. It is everybody. And, I get people all the time who say to me, well, that's just because they don't want to work. No, we see the folks. We see the folks. We see the 90-year-old, grandmother who is on a fixed income, who can't afford medication and food. So they come to the pantry to get some of that food that they're able, to have. So the work that we're doing, not only the United Way, but our partner agencies throughout the greater Hazleton community, is very important work. And it's work that we're doing to help all of those folks who fall into that little bit of that category where, they're living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how hard they try. They're trying to stretch that dollar as far as they can. And sometimes they need that little help to get them a little bit more stable in their finances and in their homes. And that's what we do. And that's really important because, again, you want to make sure that your neighbor is okay. You want to make sure that if something happens, your family is taken care of. And every one of our agencies that we work with, that is our goal.
So let's assume some people want to directly bring food to the food pantry or bring clothes or whatever. What do you tell them?
So, and we will accept it. We work very closely with all of our agencies. So, let's talk about the St. Joseph's Food Pantry. Somebody who has a donation. We had this happen a few weeks ago. A business here in the greater Hazleton community received a shipment by mistake. They received a bunch of pastry items, and they said, we can't use these. Called me up and said, hey, would the shelter or the food pantry or somebody else need these? I said, you know what, absolutely, we will take them. And you're thinking about it, okay, box of donuts or something like that, and you're thinking, but that's a little treat maybe for somebody.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
So to have that available in the shelter, in the pantry, available for pickup, maybe a family says, oh, you know what, our kids did really good this week and we want to have a treat for them. Those are the little things. A lot of our agencies right now, as we're starting to head into winter, are looking for coats and sweatshirts and heavier items for winter.
If somebody has clothes, okay, particularly pajamas or jackets or clothes, because some people are just jammed in clothes and don't know where to take them. What agencies would accept it?
And Sam, so one of the easiest things to do, they can go to hold of us at the United Way by calling our phone number, and we can direct them where they need to go. Because some agencies, they can only accept certain amount of items, or they're only looking for certain things because it fits into their parameters. So somebody has some gently used jackets, sweatshirts, pants, give us a call. We'll either arrange a pickup or you can drop them off, and we'll get them distributed to where they need to go.
That's fabulous.
But that's our job.
That's great.
That's what we're supposed to be doing as a United Way.
If I have stuff at home or clothes or whatever, and I don't have the transportation, call United Way. And Sammy, put the United Way number on the screen, and say, look, I have clothes here. I'll pack them up or whatever. Could someone come and get them? Okay.
Yeah, and we will make it happen. Whether it's myself, one of our staff
Well, you
members,
still have the
volunteer.
pickup, right?
I still have my pickup. Yeah, I keep threatening them that I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah.
And they keep telling me I can't. But yeah, we make those things happen. And we work, Sam, too, with a lot of businesses in our community who, they may have an extra supply of something, or maybe there was something wrong with a packaging of an item or something, and now with all the standards, it's fine, but the misprint label or something is on it. We get a phone call, say, hey, listen, we have a pallet of this. Could you make sure it goes somewhere that, somebody needs it? And we've done everything from pork chops to pasta to you name it. We've been able to pick up at some of our facilities and distribute them to, some of the food banks here in our community to make sure that our families are taken care of.
So if someone's in need of something, all right, whether food or whatever, some services, again, call United Way, and then you would give them direction as to what to do for those particular needs.
Yeah, and so what I always tell everyone is, our office, we're working 8 to 4. I always tell everyone the best way to get assistance for housing, food assistance, maybe you need some guidance on a couple things, you have some help with your utilities, call 211. You dial 211. It's going to ask you for your zip code. You punch in your zip code, and that's going to send you to our call center. Our call center is in Wilkes-Barre, and through Family Service Association. And that's staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. Qualified, trained personnel who will talk with you, answer your questions, and then refer you to what agency may work best for you and say, hey, you know what, we can get you, that assistance you need. So obviously at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't have somebody at my office, but you may, have come to the breaking point and you say, I need help with this. You can pick up the phone and call 211 and somebody will be there to talk to you.
When you're looking at your goal of $350,000, it sounds a lot of money, but it isn't. Yeah. Because when you're looking at the needs and the services that are out there that people do not see, they don't see what you see in the parking lot. They don't see the sorrow, the pain, and the embarrassment. People that we're not going. I grew up in a family, Italian family. We never asked for anything. We just because we had to do it ourselves. But some people just cannot do that. And you are right. There are people that are working that are not sitting on their laurels and living off the government. Okay, they're good people, and they're trying to survive. Do you find that?
Absolutely. And Sam, we've even seen it in our shelters that we help support through Catholic Social Services, where they've seen folks as young as 18 and as old as 90 who needed shelter. And some of our folks, they're working. They're trying to make enough money so they can get an apartment or, and be able to survive. And that's the whole point of what we do is we're that safety net. We're that safety net for somebody who just needs that little extra help so they can get back up on their feet and they can, continue to be, a member of society. And there have been so many great success stories have come out of folks who once were in our shelters or once who needed services and are now thriving and being awesome.
And that's a story, okay? When you have a person that was down and out, as they say, and then you helped them, and they were able to achieve something and be successful, boy, they look at United Way and saying, we can't do enough for the United Way because this is what they did for me. And that's why I said in the beginning of the story, sometimes when you talk about like the Luzerne Foundation, you don't, unless you're affected by it,
right.
Okay? Like, why should I give the United Way? All right, well, after Gary Perna tells you all of these stories, okay, it's, so if I'm going to do something, can I give them, a pledge of $20 a month or $30 a month or whatever, and helping people here, and that's what I think is so great about having, the agencies like you. You've been there for 3 years, okay, and, everybody knows you. You've been around a long time. Gary, on a personal level, all right, looking at this, personally, okay, because sometimes a job is a job, okay, but when you get involved, it's not a job. It's like, this is what I live for, okay. Personally, how do you see this? I mean, you could get a job anywhere. I'd offer you a job, okay. I mean, how do you look at this on a personal level?
Well, you know what, Sam, my entire life, I was brought up to help others. And have been doing that in my entire life. So when this opportunity came up, and to help the United Way and to take it into a different direction, it was a calling. It is something because you have to be, it's not a 9-to-5 job. I answer the phone at 11 o'clock at night when something goes wrong. It's on the weekend sending emails because, one of our agencies had an issue, so now they're trying to help and try to find, help to move stuff around. That's the job, So for me, at the end of the day, we help one person to get back up on their feet and to be able to, do what they need to do, that's a good day for us. And you know what, I love doing the job.
How do you keep the personal feelings, separate that from your job? I know it's extremely difficult, particularly if you have a passion for what you're doing, and you see the pain in some of these families, and you see the agony. Okay, I get this. My wife and I get this all the time when people see us and Sam, look at this. I can't. The groceries are they're crazy. One lady's crying to me, the eggs, and she said, about inflation is just killing everybody. And, you say, well, what can you do? Okay, but you're able to do something through United Way.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes because you see family struggling. As a new father, I want to make sure that that my son is taken care of, and my wife, and and when you see the family struggling, but then when you see when we're doing our backpack giveaway or our haircuts, and you see the smiles and the excitement on the faces of the kids, that makes it all worth it. And that is what we live for. That's why we do this job.
And you'll find that it's not the amount when you see these smiles, etc. It's little things in life. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a loaf of bread or whether it's a sweater or whether it's whatever it is. They're thrilled for that. Mm-hmm. And there's people that have so much that basically it's they're not appreciative. Folks, I'm talking to Gary Perna, President CEO of United Way. Their goal is $350,000. Now, where do they give the money to? How does that how do they determine where the money goes? We'll find out right after this. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, SSPTV.com. Go there. You'll see all the shows we have, all the neighborhood programming. And thank you for making this show, the Sam Lesante Show, the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. And that comes from a scientific poll from Susquehanna Polling and Research. My guest today is Gary Perna, who is the CEO and President of United Way. Their goal this year is $350,000. And believe me, it's certainly not enough to distribute and do so much good. Now, they cover the Hazleton Area School District and Weatherly. Now, we talked about how you're going to change some things. So tell us about the changes in the United Way.
Yeah, so what always has been done, and it was kind of the United Way model across the country, is that United Way was just a conduit of money for donors, and we bring it in and we distribute it to agencies. So what we've changed is a project-based United Way, which basically means we went out to all the nonprofits and said, you have an opportunity to receive a grant from the United Way of Greater Hazleton. And it has to be focused on helping impoverished and helping children. That's our big goals. And we had a allocation panel that sat in May of 24, and they listened to all the projects and listened to the presentations, and those volunteers, we had 11-member panel, they made the decision to say, these are the 10 projects that you guys should fund. And they were our project agencies, as we call them. So we have 9 agencies in which we fund. One of them has 2 projects, that being Catholic Social Services. So each one of those agencies received money, or is receiving money, I should say, from us throughout the year and into next year as well, because we did it on a 2-year cycle this time.
And you said you added 2.
Yeah, so brand new to the United Way this year, have never been a part of the United Way network before, is the Hazleton One Community Center, the HIP Center, where we're helping to fund their after-school program. So the kids are going somewhere after school and receiving a hot meal and receiving some help with their schoolwork and some after-school activities. Along with the Hazleton Area Recreation Program, we're helping fund some of their programs and the new venture of HARP up on Poplar Street. Which is another great facility that many folks use here in our community.
Okay, so in terms of pledges, okay, and I mean tell our audience, what ways can people contribute and pledge or give to the United Way?
Yeah, so we've always had the workplace campaign. So if a business participates in a workplace campaign, it's a direct deposit. And I said this is the best way to do it because you don't even think about it. You sign up, to do it, and then the whole year, $2, $4, $6, $8 is taken right out of your paycheck, and it's sent, to us through their payroll department. And we find that a lot of folks, especially right now, we're campaigning in the Hazleton Area School District with the teachers and faculty, and a lot of them love to do that because it's a one-time thing they got to do, and then for the next year, it comes right out. But for the everyday folks who are watching this, we do a campaign mailer that comes out every year. You can also, look us up online on our website and our Facebook page. You're able to go on and donate as well. You can send the check to the United Way office, 200 West Chapel Street, 2nd floor, Hazleton, PA, for as much as you're able to donate. And that's what I tell people. That $2, $5, $10, $20, it all helps. It all helps us. So, and one of the great things about the United Way Network is that it's neighbor helping neighbor. And you may not know that you're helping the neighbor down the street, and your neighbor may not know that you were the person that donated that money that was able to help them. And this is a great way to do it. And one of the other things that we do also, when we do our workplace campaigns or we're out with folks in our direct mailer, is they could choose if they want their money to go to one of our projects or one of our agencies. So, you may have somebody who loves Helping Hand Society because maybe their kids or their grandkids went there. And they say, you know what, I want my donation to go to them. We make sure that happens. So it's not just saying, oh, it goes to United Way and they decide where it goes. You have the power as the person who's donating to say, you know what, I really love that agency and I want to contribute to that.
Do you get any national grants or any grants from, any other organizations that help United Way?
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate to receive grants from the Luzerne Foundation through the Pasco Shivo Fund. We actually just were awarded one recently for our Back to School Energizer program, which of course will be for next year, where we're able to do haircuts free of charge for kids to go back to school. This year we did 47 haircuts, Sam, and it was an amazing day. It was truly an amazing day. So we've been very grateful, and we've also received one from the First Federal Foundation last year, who helped us kick off the Nurses Pantry program and provide help to students in the Hazleton Area School District and all the elementary, middle schools. So they kicked that off for us, and again, that's one of the many programs that we run as a United Way.
Do you have most of the income coming in on pledges, or are they just outright checks?
So it's kind of a mixed bag. Every year it changes a little bit. Maybe one year we have a little bit more pledges, and then more donations. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I
think a pledge is better. For let's say I want to give $20 a month. Mm-hmm. So like you said, you sign up and every month $20 is taken out, and I want to designate it to community services, for example, okay, because my friend who couldn't see was helped by community services, so mm-hmm. and so therefore every month $20 comes out, or 30 or 10 or whatever, and you're so right, because if you take that $20 or 10 and multiply that by 1,000 people, that really helps a lot.
Absolutely.
I mean, I look at 350,000. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's when you're looking at 10 projects, as you very well know. I mean, you could use double that amount of money.
Absolutely.
I think a while back when I had some people from United Way, they brought some people who were affected by it, mm-hmm. and these are people. I forget who was the president. It wasn't Pat, but it was the person. Who was the person? Mary. Mm-hmm. I think it was back in, and said, Mary, bring some people on, and these people were more than happy to come on to say, this is what United Way did for me and my family, okay? And it was a true life testimony, because, you're the president CEO, you got to say certain things, but you live it. Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing. Am I right?
Absolutely. And you know what? We have we have some volunteers who have been with the United Way for years and years and years, who continue to volunteer with us, to work with us, no matter what the project is. It's pick up the phone and say, hey, could you come help? And absolutely. And it's great having them, because they've seen the work over the years. And when we started looking at how we had to change to make sure that everyone still understands what we do and to still be part of the community. We got a lot of positive feedback, and they said, "Oh, this is great. We like to see this." And when we launched the Nurses Pantry and we did the Back to School Energizer and all stuff to help our kids, because if we don't start trying to correct some of the issues that we're seeing now, we'll just keep going back.
What do you tell our viewing audience if they want to help? Do they write to the United Way, or what should they do? Yeah,
they could, if they would like to volunteer, they can give us a call. Our phone number, 570-455-9515. You can send us an email. Whether you want to donate as well, you could do that. You can call us. We can have a conversation. You can reach out to us and say, hey, you know what, I want to volunteer. Where can I do it? We may not have something going at the moment, but man, our agencies always have stuff.
Particularly if people want to pledge. If they want to make a pledge of $10, $15, $20, it helps. Folks, it's $350,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but believe me, when you look at the thousands of people that they have helped throughout the area, it's just amazing. And if anyone needs help these days, believe me, a lot of people need help and they're suffering. For those of us who are blessed, we hope that we could share our blessings. Gary, nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you, Sam. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.